Plaintiff Darren Johnson is suing his ex-girlfriend Laura Davis for stolen property and assault. Darren says Laura told him she was pregnant before they started having sex, but now she is saying the baby is his, so he has petitioned the court for a DNA test. However, Laura swears Darren is the only man who could be the father of her son, and she's countersuing for rent, assault, and emotional distress.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Jeanine Pirro presiding.
Hello, Jimmy.
Afternoon, Judge. You may be seated.
Darren Johnson is suing his ex-girlfriend, Laura Davis, for stolen property and assault, and has petitioned the court for a DNA test. The defendant, Laura Davis, is countersuing her ex-boyfriend for rent, tax fraud, and for emotional distress. All right, Darren, let's start with you.
First of all, I want to say that a young lady is trying to portray me as being a bad person, that I'm a woman abuser.
The young lady, does she have a name?
Miss Davis.
The mother of your child?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person, love kids, and decided to help Miss Laura Davis out with her child. I met Miss Davis, Laura Davis, in June, late June of last year at a gas station. We had a brief conversation. I invited her over. She came over. We had a sexual relationship. About the first or the second time we had sex, she explained to me that she was a month pregnant already.
All right. So when you first meet him, you tell him that you're a month pregnant?
No, ma'am, I did not. First of all, I'd like to say I'm scared. I'm terrified of this man. He's promised me that he's going to kill me and take away my children.
All right. How did this relationship start?
We met in June at a gas station last year.
All right. And you hooked up?
Yeah. And at that time, we did have a sexual relationship, and it did continue on. After that, Your Honor, he was my man, basically, because I done his laundry, I cooked for him, I cleaned for him.
Who lived with him when you went over to his house?
Nobody.
So he had his own place?
Yes.
You have a place with how many children?
I had one child at the time.
One child
yes.
at that time. Okay.
She never did my laundry at that time because I did my own laundry.
Well, I imagine that doing the laundry isn't really that relevant to your lawsuit for stolen property and assault. Why are you suing her for stolen property and assault?
Because, Your Honor, when I was arrested for assault, she packed my things up, but she didn't pack up everything. And
you were arrested for assault of whom?
For Miss Davis.
Ha. Yeah. Let me back up, and I'm very sorry to interrupt you. You are dating and sleeping with her during the time that she's pregnant, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, she has a baby. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and are you continuing to live in your place?
He lived with me by this point.
What's the baby's name?
Tristan.
Tristan, pretty name.
Okay, Friday night when I got off, I stopped by the store, picked up a few items. And this is leading up to the assault, Your Honor. And I dropped out the items and I left. I didn't come back any of that night. When she found me, it was about 9:30 the next morning at my ex-wife's house. Okay, I leave. I go home.
You see her, you run out?
No, I walked past her. And I get in my truck and I go to our residence.
And you did what?
I go to the residence where we was residing in at the same time.
Oh, you went back to the house?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was in there laying down sleeping. And she came in when she got there and started bugging me about get up, go get this, go get that. So I said, well, leave me alone, let me sleep on risk, because I had been drinking all night. So.
At your ex-wife's?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I finally get up and go to the store, pick up the items, I go back. I let her use my phone. And she considered that community property. Community property is when you're married. We're not married. I let her use my phone. She goes through my phone, calls my friends, go through my text messages. So this is the second time I wonder, every time I let her use my phone, why she run out the house? So I walked up on her, she's got a pad and pencil writing down information that's in my phone. And she called the co-worker and told the co-worker, well, he's with me and that's my man and this is his baby and leave us alone and what else she didn't know.
She's protecting her property.
I'm not her property. I wasn't her property.
What are you living with her for?
We was helping each other out. And at this time, she was not working.
She's helping you out more. She's cooking, she's doing your laundry, and you're living at her place.
So what I did, I said, well, okay, I've had enough. I just told her, I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to move out. You and the kids can stay here.
He cut off sexual relations as of that day.
Yeah.
No, it was before that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were at your ex-wife's.
Exactly.
Keep going.
So I was drinking, like I said, and I got sick, eating some chili, and chili and liquor don't go together. And anyway, I messed up the bathroom. So in the process of cleaning up the bathroom, I laid down because I wasn't feeling good.
Again? Go ahead.
Okay, when I laid down and went to sleep, I woke up. Miss Davis had me around my Adam's apple, choking me, cutting off my wind. And I was like, let me go. And she wouldn't, so I retaliated and protected myself, defending myself. So she gets up and do what she does. I lay back down and go back to sleep. Next thing you know, the sheriff is there picking me up, waking me up, putting me in cuffs.
Okay, you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. You feel her hands. You can't breathe. What do?
I protected myself. I defended myself.
How?
I pushed up off me and I hit her.
You pushed her above you?
Off of me.
Off of you?
Yeah, like, get off me.
Yeah, and what'd you hit her with?
My hand.
My hand. Okay, where?
I'm not sure. It was dark in the room. I just hit her.
How'd you know it was her if it was dark?
I know her. She had those fingernails and they was locked in. It wasn't no man had no chokehold on. Wasn't nobody in the house with me, her, and the baby in that room.
She doesn't have any fingernails now.
Probably cut her. I would say.
How they always are.
Yeah. Okay. You're petitioning for stolen property. What's stolen?
When they arrested me and handcuffed me, I had bracelets on my wrist that they took off and placed on the counter right next to the TV because they had to take them out while they put the handcuffs on. Mm-hmm. It was merchandise in my vehicle, receipts, earrings, things of that nature that she drove my truck without my permission while I was locked up. Mm-hmm. And she rode around my friend's house that she knew about and told them that he jumped on me last night. I had him arrested. Now I'm riding around in his truck with his cell phone. Okay. So she rode around bragging.
All right, so they arrest him that night, and did he take his bracelets off, his jewelry off?
I was not in the room that night, but may I tell you my side of the story? Okay, we did meet in June of 07 and had the relations and everything, and about a month to a month and a half later, he was questioning on why I had not started my cycle because he knew I hadn't yet. I told him at that time that I was pregnant and that right before we got together, it was just a bad time. I'd lost a job and I was only working 2 jobs at the time. That I'd had a one-night stand just a few days before he and I were together. That was it. We used protection and everything, and I got that off my chest.
All right, so you don't think for 1 minute that Tristan is the other guy's baby?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, so when Darren says that she got pregnant by another guy and she told me she was already pregnant, you disagree totally with what he's saying?
Yes, ma'am, that's not true.
Okay, good.
Plaintiff Darren Johnson is suing his ex-girlfriend for stolen property and assault. Darren says Laura choked him, but she lied to the police and he was arrested for domestic violence.
Okay, good. All right, keep going.
He had gotten evicted from his apartment. He told me he was coming to live with me, and he did. So, he came. I helped him move his couch, all of his belongings out of his apartment because all them other friends that he has wouldn't help him. Now, I'm still pregnant.
He's a big guy. Why are you helping him move when you're pregnant?
He needed help moving. I mean, I loved him. Did you love
the guy?
Yeah, I really did.
Yeah.
I had the baby in January. He was there at the hospital. My friend Carla is a witness to him stating that they needed to hurry up and deliver him, or he was going to deliver his own son. And I have pictures of him at the hospital.
Let's see the pictures. Go. Well, you look for the pictures. Carla, talk to me. Were you at the hospital when Tristan was born?
Yes, Your Honor, I sure was.
Was it a happy day?
Oh, yes, it was.
And what was it like with Darren?
Oh, he was happy like a father should be.
Mm-hmm. And what did he say?
He was just making jokes and stuff. He's like, well, I'm going to put this mask on and I'm going to deliver my own baby and this, that, and the other. And he was just ecstatic, just like somebody that he was ready for that baby to come.
Did you at any point in time know that they had a problem that Saturday?
No, I did not.
You didn't? All right, Carla, thank you. Darren, was Carla at the hospital the day Tristan was born?
Yes, she was.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Cute baby. Looks like you went through labor, Darren.
Okay, already.
Look a little tired. Were you out that night?
No.
After he was born and all, it came time for our taxes and everything. Darren was stating that he was only going to get like $100 or $200 on his taxes, and that his cousin does taxes, and there was a legal loophole that we could do it where he claimed my daughter, and he got money back, and I got money back.
A legal loophole where he claims your daughter?
Yes.
You know what that legal loophole is called?
No, ma'am.
Tax fraud.
Okay.
It's not his daughter, it's your daughter.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And he claimed your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
You claimed her daughter?
Yes.
Tell me about the assault.
As soon as I walked in the bedroom, I turned around to face him as he was shutting the door, and he done like this, and he clotheslined me and threw me on the bed. And I was just kind of like, oh my God, because he had never done anything. I've never been in that situation before. So I left and I went to Walmart and I called her and I told her, I was like, he threw me on the bed, and that's all that he's really done right now is throw me on the bed. I don't know what else he's capable of. So I got my stuff and my WIC, my formula and everything, and I came back to the house, and He wasn't there. And well, when he came in, I was already in bed trying to lay down and go to sleep because I figured he was not going to come back. That's when he got me out of bed, told me to get up out of bed. Anywhere I walked in the house, he was following me. That's when he was cooking his chili and fries. He had the spatula in his hand. Actually, it was this spatula right here because he hit me with it.
Where?
On my leg. I have pictures of them if you would
see it.
like to see.
It's not true.
That's the bruises right there, and this is the rest of the pictures of the bruises where where he punched me and slapped me and choked me. I don't know how I got that bruise. It happened sometime that night because the police did take pictures of it. It was red. It was sometime in the scuffle of the whole, incident.
What is this?
I was feeding our son. I was sitting on the bed and I was holding our son in my arms. I was feeding him. That's when he was hitting me with the spatula, and he came in and he was like, I was sitting cross-legged and he was sitting there and he was hitting me on my leg like this with the spatula. Tell me this, tell me that. And I was like, leave me alone. I'm trying to feed your son. And he was just bothering me, and he moved the spatula into his other hand, and then he took me like this and he pushed me up against the wall. And at the same time, I'm feeding my son, and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. And I could not breathe. And I was just freaking out because he's got me so tight against my neck. And then he just let me go, and then he was fine. And then he was just calm. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's crazy.
What's with the eye? What happened?
That was where he punched me.
With?
His fist. That was after he hit me with his hand.
Those are your fingers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but I
was
thought so.
Holding it up.
Okay, good. So you are suing him for rent?
Yes.
He never paid rent to you?
We had a verbal agreement.
No,
and
we
instead
never
of
did.
You didn't?
No.
What makes you think that you'd be evicted and live with her for free?
First of all, I didn't think I was gonna live with her free. I was going to stay with my parents and my sister till
So why are you living with her?
Till I get stuff together. We was having a sexual relationship. She wanted me to come out there. She would call me and text me and tell me how she wanted to have
But
sex
she's
and all
doing your
that.
laundry, so you've got your clothes there too.
Doing my laundry. I was doing my own laundry.
You don't have a written agreement with him?
No, ma'am.
All right, talk to me about this stuff that he says is stolen.
Okay, they told me to leave the room. I don't know what they done with his jewelry.
All right, let me see the police report from the night, from that Saturday, from the assault. Do you have injuries?
Yes.
Would you have pictures of those injuries?
No, but I still had a cuss around my neck. They didn't give me any pictures.
They
took
didn't
me
give
straight
you
to
any?
jail. And we
But
never.
did they see the injuries?
Yes.
When they came to arrest him that night, they didn't arrest him because of me. They arrested him because of the previous domestic abuse warrant he had out for his arrest that night against his ex-wife.
Yes?
It's in the police report that you
Yes?
have.
Ex-wife? Abuse? Come on, Darren, spit it out.
Yes. And what it was, they arrested me for her, but they arrested me on a bench warrant for that.
Oh, a bench warrant. You think that's like better than an arrest warrant? Bench warrant means you never showed up.
They did not arrest me on it.
What'd they do?
They didn't do anything. When I found out about the warrant was when he arrested me for her. That's how I found out about that one.
Was he arrested for what he did to you?
Yes, ma'am, he was.
What's the status of that?
Oh, I have the paper where he pled guilty, and all he has to do is community service, and he's on probation for 6 months.
That's what makes me crazy. You choke someone and they give you community service. Domestic abuse counseling, anger management, community service, 4 days. You beat your wife and you get an education on domestic abuse counseling, which, I don't understand. It's like saying to someone, if you rob a bank, we're going to give you counseling on why you shouldn't rob a bank. Right. I mean, what is the point of this domestic abuse counseling? If you beat a woman, it's a crime. Period, end of the story.
I did not beat
you
her.
go to jail for it, they punish you.
Yep. I did not beat a
Period.
woman.
Don't give me that crap. All right. Now, you have already taken a DNA test. Is that correct, Aaron?
Yes.
All right. Jimmy, you have the results of that?
Yes.
All right, let's go get the results of the DNA test. The issue for the court that will be resolved today is whether or not you are indeed the father of baby Tristan. Darren Johnson is not the father of Tristan.
Thank you.
Thank God.
I did not lie.
You did not lie. Now, back to the lawsuit, okay? The issue is whether or not you took his property,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
he alleges the police left when they handcuffed him. Here's the bottom line. You were convicted of assault, and that is a criminal conviction, which means beyond a reasonable doubt, which is far greater than any burden of proof in a civil case. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, law of the case. You assaulted her. She didn't assault you. So you get no money for assault, okay? Period, end of that story. Now, I'm going to amend your complaint for assault against him. He assaulted you. Another court has already convicted him of that, and you are now going to be entitled, as far as I'm concerned, to damages for pain and suffering for the abuse that you suffered at the hands of the plaintiff. Now, the issue as to whether or not you should get rent from him and a tax refund goes like this. How dare you come into any court when the two of you are involved in tax fraud and ask him to give you money where the two of you colluded to steal from the federal government so that he would make money and you would share it. You get nothing on that, okay? And don't ever do that again. Now, rent, you say that he owes you $750. He says that he didn't agree to pay you money. You know what? I don't believe he was living anywhere, but with you, you're going to get $750 for the rent and nothing for emotional stress. But for pain and suffering, I'm going to give you $1,000. You get $1,750 in your countersuit. Now, don't ever put your hands on another woman, or trust me, you go into state's prison next time. Stay out of trouble. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you.
Okay.